he's so amazing. I just love him to pieces. And he talks about, he's so passionate about really sharing this message about telling people what they need, what their body needs. We have, you know, physical needs for our bodies. You know, we have to have oxygen, we have to have water, and we also need 90 essential nutrients. And I'm going to talk about that by giving your body the proper raw materials every day. Okay, every day you'll be taking the necessary steps in living healthier and living longer. Make the decision to take control of your personal health and longevity program today. And so, oh, I guess I should turn this on. That always helps. Okay. All right, part one, your physical health. And I'm going to talk about some really alarming statistics. And these, I'm sure, you know, we're not sticking our heads in the sand. Hopefully, we see this stuff going on in our country, and really it's around the world. But Americans are suffering from more and more nutritional deficiency diseases, and here are just a few. Cancer, 2 in 1 will incur cancer. I think it's even higher now. Heart disease. Heart disease is on the rise. All types of cardiovascular disease. Diabetes. Who doesn't know someone with diabetes? Can you raise your hand? Who knows someone with diabetes? Pretty much everybody in the room knows someone with diabetes, and it is an epidemic. It's epidemic proportions. And notice, nutritional deficiency disease. It's not genetic. Arthritis. 1 in 5 have arthritis, and it's probably even higher now. That was one of the things that I struggled with when I got into my early 50s. I had joint pain, but you know, when you're in your early 50s, you're not wanting to think yourself old, right? So you don't want to call it arthritis. You know, arthritis is just fancy schmancy doctor talk for inflammation of the joint. That's all it is. And yet, so when you start feeling these pains in your, you know, body and stuff, you know, you don't want to think it's arthritis, but that's what it was. So that's one that I had, but you know, praise God, I don't any longer. I'm just loosey-goosey here. And so, well, I did share last night, and I can't remember when I shared this in the presentation. The first time I shared it, so I had a terrible right shoulder problem, because when I was going into my summer of my 9th grade year of high school, I smoked a cigarette, okay? Now, it truly was a cigarette, all right? But, so I was goofing around with a bunch of friends and at a softball park probably, and walking on these bleachers, and they weren't very high. You know, you've been to these small town baseball, you know, softball parks, and they're probably about this high, maybe not even this high, right? So I was walking along the back side of it, and there was no back on it. You know, I had smoked a cigarette, and I missed the step. You know, so I was walking, I stepped into midair, and I flipped over, and I broke my right shoulder. And I was like in a soft upper body cast that whole summer long. No swimming pool, no fun summer activities. But so now when I'm getting in my 50s, my shoulder's really bothering me and aching a lot.
But you said the cigarette made you high. You're not telling the whole story.
It made me high. You know, you get lightheaded, you get dizzy. Anybody, you know, if you've ever smoked a cigarette, you know. And fortunately, I guess in a way, in hindsight, that's probably good that it happened, because, you know, I didn't end up smoking, you know. So I thought, well, I'm paying for the sins of my youth, right? I don't even have any problems with my shoulder any longer that I broke. So anyway, the other aspect is alarming statistic is stroke. A lot of people are, especially as they get into their 60s, will have a stroke. Alzheimer's, 1 in 3, I think it's actually 2 in 3 now, over 70 will develop Alzheimer's, and that is a disease that was really not even in existence 50 years ago, not even by another name. And Dr. Wallach does talk about it in his books, and it's really a physician-caused disease, and that's a very personal one for me, because my mother died of Alzheimer's early, really. She developed dementia early in her late 60s and died around 76. So that's very personal. I wish with all of my heart that I knew what I know now, because perhaps I could have done something then. Instead of just following all the medications and everything, and the terrible progression of losing my mother gradually. So that touches me personally. But what was so exciting to me when I heard Dr. Wallach, and I have to say I had to it kind of fritzed my brain out. You know, you hear things, you kind of do like a short circuit in your brain when he talked about we have the potential to live, genetic potential to live over 100 or even 120, and even higher. Because there are people that have lived into the 200s, and we're not talking back in biblical days, you know, like Methuselah or Adam or any of the, you know, Noah even. So that kind of fritzed my brain a little bit, and so but then as I put that in the back of my mind thinking, okay, everything else he says I really think is awesome and right on. And then, but as I've studied and researched and read a lot of his books and other things, we do have the potential to live healthy. Again, that's healthy. We're not living in a nursing home. You know, someone's taking care of us and feeding us, you know, or tube feeding. Live healthy beyond the age of 100. But we are dying early from diseases that were cured. Cured, I'm using the cure word here, in animals years ago. Okay, let's talk about early warning signs. You know that check engine sign on your car, right? You know, you got to pay attention to that. You know, if that oil light goes on, you got to stop the car, you know. My sons drive a Passat. They share a car down at college. They're at IU. I have a junior and then a freshman down there, and they have, I think it's a 1999 Passat, you know. Cute little sporty car, great first car for them. Anyway, my oldest son was driving with the red oil light on, and so that messed up the car. Fortunately, it was synthetic oil, so it didn't really damage it hugely, so it was a fairly inexpensive repair, which we're counting our blessings for that. But you got to pay attention to these early warning signs, and here's some early warning signs. White, gray, or silver hair is a severe copper deficiency. Now, when we talk about this, it's not just copper. We need 90 essential nutrients, and like I said, I'm going to talk about those a little later in this presentation, but it's a severe deficiency in copper. Then age spots or liver spots, and they're called liver spots because it's more like the coloring of the spots. So it's not that it has anything to do with the liver necessarily. That's free radical damage, and that's just not on the outside, that's on the inside too. So if you've got it on the outside, you got it on the inside as well. And then cracked heels, hands, cuticles, that's essential fatty acid deficiency. And how many of you ladies, and I know you men too, but I don't know, I'm a lady, so I'm the one that has to suffer with it, but you'd always get these cracked cuticles, especially in the winter time. And you know, you don't think of it as very much, but don't they hurt? They just hurt. Or your cracked heels or whatever. You know what? It doesn't matter anymore what the temperature is. I never get cracked cuticles or cracked heels anymore because I'm not essential fatty acid deficient any longer. So it's not the weather, it's the essential fatty acid deficiency. And again, if you've got soft tissue damage here on the outside, you've got it on the inside as well. Okay, so pica, or some people call pica, food cravings and binge eating. That's again essential fatty acid deficiency and trace mineral deficiencies. If you've got a craving for French fries, you got essential fatty acid deficiency. Let me tell you, if you crave fried foods, you need essential fatty acids. And so that's another beautiful thing about when you give your body what it's supposed to get, you don't have these food cravings. You know, I'm not saying you won't ever have them, but that's how I got over my food cravings. I don't have food cravings any longer. I mean, every once in a while you might want a nice sweet treat, so you get a triple treat chocolate, you know, that has 16,000 ORAC score per piece of chocolate or something. But it just addresses the obesity issue, really, through this. Okay, so noisy joints, muscle twitches, ringing in the ears, receding gums, that's a severe calcium deficiency, and we're going to talk about these. So what do we do? What happens if we ignore these? So let's talk about the man. We're going to go into what we don't want to ignore these. The man, Dr. Joel Wallach, veterinarian and a physician, a naturopathic physician. He actually went back to school. I don't know how many degrees does he have. I mean, he has lots of degrees. Because he wanted to treat human patients with what he learned with his work with animals. He has 43 years in biomedical research. You know, he's just not pulling all this stuff, oh, I think this might work, I think this might work. It is born from his research and study and practical application. He's done over 20,000 autopsies, over 450 species of animals, and 300 humans for comparison. So he's a comparative pathologist. He's the author of Dead Doctors Don't Lie, so he has the book, and there's the CD as well. How many of you have read Dr. Wallach's Dead Doctors Don't Lie book? The book. Okay, very good. And then how many have actually heard his audio cassette, Dead Doctors Don't Lie, CD or cassette? Very good. So if you've not read his book, Dead Doctors Don't Lie, I really encourage you to get it and read it. It's so amazing because it really kind of gives you an understanding. It's really in a way of an autobiography in a lot of ways, and it kind of gives you the real heart of the man. And so he's this Dead Doctors Don't Lie CD has actually sold over 250 million audio recordings. So he's more famous than Michael Jackson, right? Or who's another big star we got, you know, going?
Elvis Presley.
Oh yeah, Elvis Presley, exactly, more than that. So, and he also is a nationally syndicated talk radio show. It's actually, would be on 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock Eastern time. There is a radio show that he does every Monday through Friday. So he's amazing. I mean, you know, if he's going to speak that night, and you fly him in usually either the day before or in the morning. So I figured, what do we do? When he flew in Sunday night, we pick him up Monday. I think Pat toured him around on Monday, and then he gets ready for his radio show in the afternoon. Or he might fly in the same day. You get him to the hotel, he does his radio show, and then he does the seminar that evening. This man is very committed and devoted to his mission. And he's defeated the FDA actually 8 times. Dr. Wallach corrected me on that one. In court, and these are for health claims that he won, so that we have the health freedom to know certain things, like, for example, folic acid and the benefits of folic acid. And because of that court case that he won, how many babies have been benefited by that? Because now pregnant mothers are taking folic acid and, you know, prevention of spina bifida, or omega-3 essential fatty acids, how important they are, and the significance of cardiovascular health and prevention of blood clotting and things like that. Or the other one is selenium, and I thought he talked about that and how you know, and these are not little things that take a year to do. I think selenium was an 8-year process. So you know you've got to be super committed, and it costs lots of money to do that as well. He also has a book in the Smithsonian Institute. And the Smithsonian, this is the book right here, Diseases of Exotic Animals, and it's not really a book that you want to sit around and read for light novel reading, you know, before you go to bed. But one thing, and I shared this with some of our group, we had the joy of taking Dr. Wallach to the University of Missouri in Columbia, where he graduated from the Veterinary School of Medicine. He got a degree in agriculture, soils and science, and a doctorate degree in veterinary medicine. And so, I don't know, maybe it was a couple of days before we went there for the event. This was just last year. The archivist from the School of Veterinary Medicine called me up, and he said, "Hey, I'd really like to interview Dr. Wallach and have an interview and archived," because he wanted to have that. He was part of the School of Veterinary Medicine, and I said, "I'm sure that we could make that happen. I'm sure we could arrange that." So anyway, so I get to walk in and be part of that interview. I wish I could have stayed for the whole thing, but I had to get busy and set up for the seminar that evening. But as I was sitting there for the initial part of it, you should have seen the archivist. Just so, you know, just amazing, excited to see Dr. Wallach and meet him personally. And he was bringing this Diseases of Exotic Animals in and a bunch of others books to get autographed. And as they were talking about it, he was saying, "Oh my gosh, yes, this was the first book of its kind. It was such an amazing, it still is. It's used in zoos and veterinary schools for teaching and things like that." So I found out that book, brand new, costs about $12,000. Wow. And if you can find it on eBay, which I think it's very difficult, it's like about $4,000 or $5,000. So this book, the work that Dr. Wallach did, would probably cost $1 billion in today's term. So it really gave me a lot of respect for that kind of work that he did, and all those autopsies, and putting them and compiling them and putting them in a book to help everybody else in the exotic animals and zoos and things. So, and then he was nominated for the 1991 Nobel Prize in Medicine. So we've got an amazing person, that the man, Dr. Joel Wallach, and what he learned is that all animals that die of natural causes die of nutritional deficiencies. So let's talk about his discovery. He discovered that he could prevent and cure up to 900 diseases in animals with simple nutritional strategies, okay? And he spent decades perfecting that ideal formulation for humans. After he went to Oregon to do his private practice with humans, he had a large practice, and so he began using the things he learned in treating animals and helping humans, and he got the same results. You know, animals get arthritis, you can cure animals' arthritis. Animals get diabetes, you can cure animals' diabetes. So he was getting the same kind of results with his human patients. And so, you know, some of his patients, you know, they loved Dr. Wallach so much, they said, "Hey, if you're not happy with your doctor, go see Dr. Wallach. He'll treat you like a dog, but you'll get better." So he was seeing lots of patients. He had a very big patient load. So what you need to know is that when you give your body what it needs, it will do amazing things. And so here's the message: 90 for life, okay? And I mentioned this. It's 90 for life. It's just not 90 for a month till you feel a little bit better in your elbow, you know, or whatever. That tennis elbow goes away. It's not 90 for 90 days, okay? It's 90 for life. You need oxygen every day, you need water every day, you need to eat food every day, but you need to have the 90 essential nutrients every day. And that's 60 minerals. Let me get back to my screen here. 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, and 3 essential fatty acids. So that's essential. And essential means that the body can't make it. It cannot manufacture it on its own. You've got to consume them every day in your food, in your diet, and in supplementation. And deficiencies of essential nutrients lead to disease and up to 900 different diseases. Okay, let's talk about some nutrition basics. And I have to tell you, I have to confess, even though I was in the supplement world, I really didn't understand the difference between vitamins and minerals. It was sort of a blur to me. So on hearing Dr. Wallach, it really was a revelation and very eye-opening for me. So the difference between vitamins and minerals, okay, plants can make vitamins and amino acids through the process of photosynthesis. So you can get that, but you can't get minerals. Plants can't make minerals. They have to get them from the soil. If it's not in the soil, it's not in the plant. And that is the real key difference. Let's give you an example. As early as even in the 30s, 1936, there's a U.S. Senate document that says, our farm soils are depleted of vital minerals, and as a result, our foods are literally starved of nutrients. Medicine cannot compensate for this deficiency. And so, here's an example of the depletion. This is from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, like let's say 1910, and look at the sharp decline in the minerals. Here we are. It's staggering. It's very staggering, and partly because of farm practices. A farmer doesn't need to have their food being nutrition. They just put the 3 things. PKU, what is it? Who knows? NPK, what is it? Phosphorus, nitrogen, and what now?
Nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium.
Nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. That's all those plants need to grow. But that's not enough to make it nutritious and healthy for us. The USD reports that 95% of Americans are mineral deficient. And let me give you an example of one here. This is spinach. So, I think of Popeye the Sailor Man. Remember that cartoon, Popeye the Sailor Man, right? I'm strong to the finish because I eat my spinach. Okay. I just had to see how well y'all could sing. So in 1958, if you were to have some spinach, you'd actually get some iron in it. So Popeye was getting some iron then. But, fast forward to 1990, you're getting 1.5 milligrams of iron in your spinach, and then by 1999 there was no iron in 95% of the spinach sold in U.S. grocery stores. So I always felt I was eating healthy when I'd eat those salads with the spinach and the mushrooms and the eggs. I always felt like I was really doing something good for myself, but I really wasn't, because I wasn't getting any iron in my spinach. So that's why it's important that we do need to supplement, because it's not in our food. So the lion's share of our nutrients are the minerals. And I want to talk to you about the source of our minerals. This is a picture, and I've got a couple other ones here to show you as well, of where Dr. Wallach, he scoured the globe to find the best source of minerals. And this is a mine in Emory, Utah, and it's very unique. And what's this black stuff right here? I'll show you another picture, you'll be able to see it as well. This is humic shale. It's non-fossilized plants that naturally contain 75 to 77 different minerals. This is a mine that's very unique. There's no other known mine in the world that has this many minerals in it. There are other mines that maybe, like China, has like 50 or 54, but this is very unique in that it was protected. And I'll show you another picture that I think shows it maybe a little bit better. But this is taken, and then they're soaked. These plant minerals are soaked in filtered spring water for a few weeks, and then the plant minerals naturally bond with the water, and then it's filtered to very small, like 0.5 microns. And so I'm showing you another picture here. I hope you can see that. That's me on a mine tour, and you can maybe see that a little bit better, this black stuff here. And the reason why this is so unique, see that capstone right there? That's limestone. It's about 20 foot of limestone. And if that had been heavier, then this wouldn't remain non-fossilized. It would turn into some sort of carbon. The pressure, if it had been much heavier, would press it into like coal or oil or something. And if it hadn't even been there, then all that stuff would have just washed away over time with eons of rain. And that's why it's so very unique in that respect, because first of all, it's in an area where it was in lots of different rivers fed into it and collected silt over time, and then perhaps there was been some rapid burial with the lime capstone there. So, and this is another picture of me with Nephi Wayman. He's a very successful distributor with Youngevity, lives in Utah. So I'm official rock licker now. So when you go on the mine tour, if you want to get truly baptized into that experience, you lick the rock or the mineral. So by the way, we do know the dates now of the next mine tour, and I want to put that in your, put that on your bucket list, shall we say, because it's a fabulous experience. And I know Sherry and Steve are planning on going, and I just encourage each of you to put it in your heart to come, because it just changes your understanding. It just gives you such a depth of why these products are so amazing. Okay, let's talk about the Majestic Earth minerals. They're 100% plant-derived, 77 different minerals. Now 60 are essential, but we have 77 in there, and they're 7,000 to 10,000 times smaller than a red blood cell. They're 90 to 98% bioavailable. That means they permeate through cell wall. That's why they are absorbable. Now there is a difference, you know, if you have like metallic minerals, your body doesn't absorb them very well. You only maybe absorb 8%. And then there's chelated forms of minerals where they're bonded with amino acid. But this is plant-derived. This is absorbable, like I said. So nothing but the best for Dr. Wallach. This is what I want to tell you is, you know, he really has worked to develop his products where you know you're going to get everything. You know, you saw that I had worked for GNC, and so I was taking lots of different pills, lots of different products, and I don't know that I was getting everything. There wasn't really a good package, and when I got on Dr. Wallach's products, I noticed a huge difference. I got results. You know, I didn't notice that. I didn't really notice that much when I was taking the other supplements. So the way he developed his products to make it super simple. We don't have to be, you know, medically trained. We just got to follow the program. I mean, that's what's so beautiful about it, with, you know, spreading the message, joining the crusade, building a business. You know, if we always are the expert in everything, then who wants to join along? I can never do that, you know. But it's so simple, because here, let's talk about it. At the center of the flower is the 90 essential nutrients. Every single person on planet Earth needs 90 essential nutrients. And that is represents like the Healthy Start Pack, the original or 2.0. That gives you 90 essential nutrients right there. But then, you know, sometimes over time we develop certain conditions or illnesses or things like that, or like, you know, you get joint pain, or you have blood sugar problems. Either you could be diabetic, or you just, you know, you get really super tired after you eat a meal. That's blood sugar. Or you have some depression, or maybe there's some ADD or ADHD. So let's say, for example, if you do have some blood sugar issues, now I never had diabetes, but I knew I had some hypoglycemic issues, and I did get super tired after I eat, and I found that my blood sugar was imbalanced. So I added the Sweeties to my Healthy Start Pack, and that makes the Healthy Blood Sugar Pack. It's pretty simple. Healthy Start Pack, add Sweeties, blood sugar pack. Or let's say with hard tissue problems like joint arthritis, pain, or whatever, then you add the Healthy Start Pack, and you did your glucogel and CM cream. That's your secret sauce. That's what Dr. Wallach calls it, secret sauces. And so let's say, for example, you've got both stuff going on. You know, do I need, you know, my weight, I'm not 200 pounds, so I don't need 2 Healthy Start Packs. So I would get the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack and add the Sweeties from the Blood Sugar Pack. I just get the Sweeties and put it together. Simple like that. Or if someone like the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack really could be named the Healthy Brain, Heart, and Lung Pack, because it deals with all soft tissue. So if someone has COPD, or you're dealing with some sort of cardiovascular issues, or they're having some memory issues, you know, let's say, how many of you walk into another room and say, oh, what did I go in that room to get? You know, you had a memory lapse. You know, you need some more essential fatty acids, and that's a great one to get for those things. Or digestion problems. Many people have digestion problems. And that's really the cornerstone of the foundation of good health, having good digestion. Because if you're not digesting your food properly, you're not absorbing your nutrients well. So then to add to the Healthy Start Pack, you have enzymes and Flora FX. So you get all 90 essential nutrients in one convenient pack. When I started on Dr. Wallach's stuff, it just made it so simple. It just made it so simple. Okay, let's talk about the mission. Dr. Wallach, this is Dr. Wallach's quote. I would like to personally invite you to join the crusade to improve the physical and financial health of people throughout the world. And you heard a little bit of my testimony. You know, I was really looking for something that I was passionate about, but I wanted to have flexibility with my time. And I decided that, you know, I do want something to do with wellness, nutrition, and fitness. And when I heard Dr. Wallach speak, it just, I mean, it just seemed like, gosh, this could be an answer to my prayer. Like I said, I read all his books and used his products and got such great results. I did decide to go in both feet. And so that concludes part one of our program, and I want to bring up Rich Stocks to do the second part as it relates to the financial aspect. You know, and I just so appreciate Rich so much, and he brought Dr. Wallach here, was it 3 years ago, I guess it was, and so that was my first seminar that I had ever attended. And he is very committed to spreading the 90 for Life message and helping people not only with their health but with the business. So I just appreciate you so much, Rich. Thanks so much.
All right, by the way, Sunday's Susan's birthday, so we're not going to take time to sing it now, but be sure and wish her a happy birthday before you go. She'll be 57. She didn't tell you that, but I tell you. So I like to watch, and we've done a lot of these meetings together, and it's so funny, and she does it on purpose. Most of you know her, so you don't get the same effect here, but she'll do these meetings, you got a whole crowd of strangers. She'll say, yeah, back when I was in my early 50s, you know, I got fired, and I watched the ladies in the room turn to each other, and they're going like this, you know, because they're thinking, back when she was there, how old is she now, you know? So anyway, so she's pushing 60 here, guys, so anyway. And so the other night we did a meeting. We said, there was Dr. Wallach. I said, hey, he's 76, she's 57, I'm 50. None of us look our age. I know we don't act it. Dr. Wallach says I act 12, you know, so. But, so anyway, guys, I'm going to share part two. You know, we're going to talk about making a difference in people's lives. But notice before we go on to that, Dr. Wallach's mission is twofold, and a lot of people don't realize this. They think it's just the health message. But again, she read this, but it says, Dr. Wallach, this is a quote from him, I want to personally invite you to join the crusade to improve the physical and the financial health of people throughout the world. So those of you who are already involved with Youngevity, if you're only sharing the health message, you're truly not fulfilling Dr. Wallach's mission. That's half of it. That's half the message. We call somebody's phone, just go, did you leave your phone up here, Susan? No? That was yours? Oh, okay. All right. So now I'm starting to act like Dr. Wallach. I can't hear quite as well as him, but we say he has bionic ears. If you're only sharing the health message, you're really, you know, you're fulfilling half the mission. And for every person out there who has a health challenge, I can promise you there are just as many who are challenged financially. I knew a guy, I didn't know him well, and this is just one story, there would be hundreds of thousands like this, but he had gone through severe financial times and had overcome, and was in business, began to prosper, and then, you know, hit tough times again. And he took his own life, and he wrote a note. He left a note. In the note, he told why he took his life. He said, I can't go through that again. Guys, it's a big deal. I've been through it. When I heard Dr. Wallach's message 18 years ago, you know, I grew up very poor. I'm not going to tell my whole story, but my mother she worked at a factory for 30 years. And after 30 years, she's still alive today. She's in her mid-80s. She's in Bible school. She only finished 8th grade education. She's in her 5th year of Bible school. It's just a 2-year program. They let her keep coming back every year. You know, it's not because she's not making good grades. She don't have anything else to do. So every year she'll say, oh, I guess I'll come home next year. And then she stays another year, you know, and keeps going. She's 85, 86, something like that. And she's out there in Bible school just having a good time. But she worked in that factory for 30 years. And after 30, they came in one day and they said, we're going to shut it down. About a month or two later, it was all gone. And she gets a whopping pension every month, $124 and some change, after spending 30 years of her life in that place. And I do her banking, so $124 and some change for investing 30 years. Okay? My father was a custodian at the local high school, and so he worked up until my son called me, turn that over. I got that up there to keep up with my time. But my father was a custodian at the local high school, so he didn't make a lot of money, worked all the overtime he could. I mean, he was a worker, literally worked up almost to the day that he died, until he just couldn't go any longer. He was healthy, and then all of a sudden he just became ill, and was just about 3 weeks after that he was gone. But he worked all the way up to that time. So I know what it means to go without. I'll share this part of my story. When I became a young adult and had 3 little kids of my own, I have 4 kids now. One of them calling there, that's my 18-year-old. He's my youngest. The others are grown. I'm a grandfather now. Thank you. I know I don't look like it, but I am a grandfather. Have 3 adult children and then an 18-year-old. And so, but when I had 3 little kids, I was working at a church. And I remember we used to give away food on Saturdays. I don't know if it's every week, every other week. And one day I just happened to look. There was a piece of paper on the wall. It was the income guidelines for how much food you qualified for. And I just happened to look at it. I looked at the one on the bottom that said poverty. And I went across the page to see how much you had to make to be poor, and I didn't qualify. I was making, I had a wife and 3 kids, I was making 1/5 of what it took to be poor. I'd never even gotten in the line for food. I thought, man, I'm going to get in this line. I don't know, am I going to get in line? I'm going to ask for 5 helpings of everything. I'm 5 times poor. So I know what it means. When I stand up here and talk about making a 6-figure income and being in the multi-million-dollar earners club and all that, hey, listen, I didn't start there. 18 years ago when I heard this message, I didn't even have the $6 to join. It took me several days to scrape up that money. And one of the reasons I was so broke is because I had dabbled with all these network marketing deals. Now I did the one, that's the no-run pantyhose. Well, fundamental rule of network marketing, you got to become a product of the products, right? You got to use the products. Those things didn't look right on me. They didn't feel right on me. And then the no-run pantyhose started getting runners. I mean, that's a bummer for your network marketing business right there. And then I joined the one that's supposed to grow hair on bald people's heads. And we should have been selling sunglasses. Or, yeah, here's one of my best customers right there. He was rubbing his head. Yeah, he knows what I'm talking about. You needed sunglasses in the meetings because of all the glare. Let me tell you. That one didn't work for me. Now, I just kept trying over and over and over again until finally, I wanted to believe. I'll make this point now. There are those of you in here who you don't share. You try to hide the fact that it's network marketing. Is this network marketing? Well, sort of, but not really. I'd been through all of that when I first started saying, well, not really, this is different and all of that kind of stuff. Hey, listen, just be bold about it. You know something? The reason I tried a dozen or 15 or 20, who knows how many, is because I wanted to believe. I saw the people making the money. I knew the principle was good. I knew they taught it in universities. I wanted to believe. So even the people that you think, well, I'm not going to share that with them because they're burned out, they've tried and they failed. I know a lady who's been in 38 network marketing companies. She failed 37 times until she got in this one right here. And so I'm going to tell you the secret right now. I'm getting all out of order here what I'm going to share, but I'm just sharing from my heart right now, and because I'm going home in the morning. So like I say, anything I want to say are up here right now, right? But I'm going to share from my heart, and here's the thing, is people want to believe this. That's why they try them over and over again. And whenever we make assumptions and we prejudge, say, well, they wouldn't be interested, I know, or even if they say they're not, that's what I would have told you 18 years ago. If you'd have asked me, hey, you want to look at my network marketing? No, of course I don't. But in my heart, I wanted to believe. I saw the people making the money. I wanted to be successful. And so all the people out there especially ones who've already tried this a few times and say they don't want to do it again, I'm telling you, they do. They want to do it. They want to believe it works. They've seen other people. They've heard the stories. And just because they've had bad experiences, Don't write them off. Just like the lady, the 37. What if she had to join the 38? And listen, she didn't just join. She went to the moon. She's a very good friend of mine. Got her in my cell phone right now. We could call and put her on speakerphone now, and she would tell you how she failed 37 times, but got in this one, and it made all the difference in the world. Now, here's a little secret for you. Here's a nugget for you. Please don't ever forget this, and that is this. The best company or the best opportunity might not be the right one for you, but the right company or the right opportunity will always be the best one for you. I'm going to say it again. Sometimes you're looking at it like you sort of got it. The best company, the best opportunity might not be the right one for you. But when you find the right one for you, it will always be the best one for you. And that's what it took for me. I tried hard with the others. Some of them, looked like they had promise, but they weren't the right one for me. The lady that failed the 37 times, it just wasn't the right one. So tonight, and I usually wait till the end to say this, maybe we'll end early. I don't know who needs to give the presentation now. I'm at the end already, guys. But the only, yeah, okay. If I draw his name out tonight, then I forgot what I was going to say now. The only question that you have to get answered tonight. Listen, the products are for everybody. You either believe the research or I'll give them a try. Well, go ahead and give them a try, but you either believe Dr. Wallach's research or you don't. The Supreme Court believed it when he walked in and said, hey, selenium can prevent certain types of cancers. Let me tell you, it was like the Miracle on 38th Street. That's where is that what the movie was called? 34. Oh, I knew it was somewhere in that area, somewhere in that vicinity, somewhere in that neighborhood. Miracle on 34th Street. That's where he got the idea. When they asked for the evidence, it's outside. It was in a tractor trailer packed, from top to bottom and side to side, full of documents proving that selenium helps to prevent cancer. Okay? And he won. They had to take that one all the way to the United States Supreme Court, and he defeated the FDA. I'm trying to get him to go after the IRS. Come on, son.
Yeah.
High hopes. Don't mess with Doc Wallach, And so the only question you need to get answered tonight, yes, the products for you. If you're not on them, get on them. The research is there, all right? We even convinced the Supreme Court and the FDA, for heaven's sakes, yes, it's for you. But say, is the business for me? Well, first of all, how can you hear a message like this and not share it? I think that's just extremely selfish. We tell people, we read a good book, we tell them about it, we go see a good movie, we tell people, you find a sale down at Walmart and you tell people about it, and then you're going to hear something like this, I'm not interested in the business, really. I have a big problem with that, a big problem with it. How can you hear a message like this? Now, if you don't believe it, sure, but if you believe it and it's good enough for you, well, I just want to try the stuff for myself. Well, if it's good enough for you, it's good enough for your neighbor. It's good enough for other people. And the sad thing is, there's so many people out there that if they don't hear it from you, they may never hear it. You could be, as she talks about, this was an answer to prayer for her. That's what I said when I got in this. This was an answer to prayer for me. You could be somebody's answer to prayer. But then you prejudge and choose not to, I'm not interested in the business, I'm not interested in the money. Well, let me tell you, people say, Rich, when you got in, why did you get in this? What kind of diseases did you have? Well, first of all, our message is take it before you get the disease, all right? I got that. But I say, yeah, actually, I did have a disease. I had a severe vitamin M deficiency. That's the stuff that keeps you warm in winter, cool in summer, helps alleviate stress, helps you get along better with your friends and loved ones. Yeah, vitamin M. The 91st essential nutrient, right? Before you're born, you're costing people money. To be born into this earth, it costs a lot of money. Every day it costs money to keep us alive. When you die, it costs money to put you away. And if you don't pay your bills, even after you're gone, you're costing people money. Money is a big deal. I like what Zig Ziglar used to say. He said money may not be everything, but it ranks right up there with oxygen. That's what I'm talking about. It's essential stuff. And I had some CDs back there that are gone, so you can't accuse me of just trying to sell CDs tonight because we're out of it. But you need to get my CD somewhere, somehow. You're from yteamtools.com, called Money is Not Just Good, It's Very Good. And I share 7 stories on there, 6 or 7 stories that will warm your heart. You can't listen to that CD and not say that money is very good. You can't. There are people who believe money is evil. Well, they're twisting a little scripture around that says the love of money is the root of all evil. Let me tell you, poor people love money just as much as rich people, if not more, okay? It's the love of money. Then there are people who say, well, okay, money's not evil, but it's neutral. That's not true. And then there are people who say, well, no, it's not evil, it's not neutral, it's good. I don't even believe that. If you believe the Bible, the book of Genesis said God looked at everything He made, including, it specifically says the gold, the silver, the precious stones, and it says that He said, not me, that He said, behold, it is very good. Let me just tell you one story. Can I do that? I'm going to do it anyway. You might as well nod. The harder it is for me to pull it out of you, the longer we're going to be here, all right? Act like you like it. Laugh at my jokes, and we'll move right. Otherwise, I'm going to start talking slow like a Missouri boy that I am, all right? I'll tell you one story off the CD, and this is, they're all good, but here's one is, I had a friend who was in the ministry. Again, I was working at a church, and one day I felt impressed to give him some money. I went through seasons in my life. I went through the $25 season. Every time I gave somebody something that's $25, I went through the $100 season. There was a little season where I went through the $1,000 season, okay? And so this point in my life, I was kind of in that $100 mode that whenever I felt impressed to give somebody something, it usually was $100. So that's what I planned to do. I called him and said, hey, can you come up to the church? I want to give you some money for your ministry. He said, sure. And so he comes up there, and I sit down to write the check, and I'm planning to write the check out for $100. And as I'm writing the check, I inadvertently, just without thinking, wrote it for $103. And I looked at that, and I thought, well, that's weird. He's going to think I'm a granola Christian, fruity, flaky, and nutty, right? But I just, and then I was going to tear the check up, but I didn't want to make the tree huggers mad, you know. You're killing trees and you're tearing up a check. So I thought, I'll just leave it like it is. And so $103, I thought, he's going to think I'm weird, but I don't care. I just left it. So he came up there. I gave him the check. He just glanced at it, said, thank you, put it away. 5 years later, I could have wrung his neck. 5 years later, we're in a car going somewhere, and he says, hey, remember that time you called me up to the church to give me some money? I said, sure. He said, do you remember how much you gave me? I said, sure, it's $100. He said, nope, it was $103. I was like, oh, no. Then I remembered. I was like, here it comes, 5 years. I said, yeah, you're right. He said, why did you do that? I said, I have no idea. He said, well, let me tell you what's happening that week. He said, I had a car payment that was overdue. He said my car payment was $102.95. And so he said there were some railroad tracks by my house, and he said I'm pacing up and down the railroad tracks. God, I need $103. I need $103. I need $103.
Amen.
And here I was planning to write a check for $100 and just inadvertently wrote it out for $103. Tell me there is no God. And tell me that money in that case was evil. Tell me money was neutral. Tell me money was good. It was none of those, was it? No, it's very good. So I really get a little hot and bothered, as you can see, a little hotter in the collar when I hear people saying, well, I'm not in it for the money. Well, bless your heart. What about all the people that need the money? Okay? That's like what I'm telling a story out of my book now. I'm riding with my real estate boss, and we're having a conversation. Her husband's driving. She's in the front. I'm in the back seat. We're just talking casual. We're talking about the Bible. We're talking about life. And all of a sudden, she makes a statement. And she says, well, I don't want to be rich. She said, I just want, enough to pay my bills, take care of my kids, and those sorts of things. And I'm thinking, well, that sounds reasonable, sounds logical, doesn't it? Sure it does. And I wasn't planning to say anything. And then I heard these words coming out of my mouth. And I said them really loud. And I said them really strong. And I said, well, you're just stingy is what you are. Her husband whirls around like this. He's driving, and we're on this little country road. She whirls around. She's my boss at the time. She whirls around. She's glaring at me, eyeball to eyeball. And she says, I want to know what you mean by that. And I'm thinking, yeah, so do I. And then I think, well, think about what you just said. I don't want to be rich. I just want enough to pay my bills and take care of my kids. I said, do you hear anything wrong with that? I said, you're not going to change the world like that. You're not going to send missionaries around the world. You're not going to do anything because you're just going to have enough. You're never going to have more than enough to help anybody but you and yours, and it's just selfish is all it is. She goes, well, I never thought of it like that. I'm thinking, neither have I. Neither have I. The night before I got married, we go into the church and we're going to have rehearsal, and there's a satellite seminar going on, and I'll just go ahead and tell you who it was. It was Kenneth Copeland. I knew who he was. I knew he's a prosperity preacher. I had just kind of come into the Christian walk, and so it wasn't that I thought money was bad, but here I was 21, no wife. The other night I said no wives. I was in a meeting. I said no wives, no kids, and of course they all started laughing. I realized what I said. So no, I had no wives, no kids, no debts, no bills. And so why did I want to hear about money? See, I was looking at it from a very selfish perspective, just from me, like I'm every person in the world. Just because I didn't have any financial needs, we don't need to talk about it. You realize how that's very childish. I have a degree in psychology, and they talk about you're supposed to reach a certain age where a child, it's called perspective taking, where they can kind of see something from your point of view or your point of view rather than just their own. Perspective taking. So there I was just thinking the whole world was like me. We don't need to hear about money in church because I didn't need to hear about it. The world doesn't revolve around you and doesn't revolve around me, right? There's several billion people on this planet. And so I didn't plan to say all this tonight, but I'm not taking any of it back. I'm telling you, I'm enjoying myself here tonight, whether anybody else is or not. So here I am. And so he's up there talking, Kenneth Copeland. I'm like, oh, let's get this over with. Yeah, I didn't think it was bad, but I got rehearsal here. I get married and all this. And so he makes a statement that shook me to the core. I've never been the same. He said, if all you need is $1 a week, pray for 100 and give 99 away. And when he said it, let me just tell you, those words hit me right in the heart, just like that. I mean, it was more riveting than Susan's speech she gave up here a while ago. It shook me to the core, and I realized how ignorant I had been, and I realized how selfish I had been. I've never thought the same way about money ever again. And so when I stand up here, oh, you're kind of passionate here tonight. I'm very passionate about it. Let me tell you, it's a big deal. And the people who even talk like it's not are still going to get up on Monday morning. They're still going to go to work. They're still going to work their hours. They're still going to grumble about not having enough. They're going to grumble when the gas prices go up. They're going to grumble when bread's $3 a loaf or whatever it is. And yet they're over here saying, I'm not interested in the money. It's very hypocritical, guys. I'm just telling you the way that it is, all right? Now, what we need to do is just get free from all hang-ups over money. I can drive any kind of car I want to drive. I'm not driving a Rolls Royce, but I would have no problem driving one. If I want one, I would get one. Okay? I'll live in any kind of house I want to live in. And that's all a personal thing. You know, I'm going to be real honest with you. When Susan first got her BMW that she got for quite a deal, $5,000 or something. I mean, there's a person who's driving a little rattle-trap car that probably costs more than that said, I'm offended by that, because it's a BMW. Well, guys, that is nonsense. How can you be in a business like this and we're promoting prosperity, health, and wealth and prosperity, and you're going to be offended because somebody got a BMW, a used one, at half the price that it was worth? I mean, come on. These are the things I'm talking about. There's no shortage in this earth. There's more bananas rot on the floor of the ground of the jungle than the rest of the world eats. There is no shortage. You having more than enough doesn't mean somebody else has to go without. It means you have an opportunity to help that person who doesn't have enough.
Amen.
The only person that can help someone who doesn't have enough is the person who has more than enough.
Come on.
I guess we're going to get to this presentation sooner or later here, but I'm having fun here tonight. Part 2, your financial health. Hoorah!
Yeah.
Let's share that part of it. This is the rest of the story. Why did Dr. Wallach choose network marketing? 3 reasons. Network marketing creates an incentive for people like us to share the message with others. There's something in it for us. Number 2, word of mouth promotion is very effective in the distribution of these kind of products. This is not a shelf product. It takes education. It takes tweaking. You work with the person. It's not something you just set on a shelf and say, try it. They need educating. 3, network marketing provides an opportunity for every one of us to get our products for free. Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, here's what he says. He says, network marketing gives people the opportunity with very low risk and very low financial commitment to build their own income-generating asset and acquire great wealth. A little bit about Youngevity. We started in April of '97. We're publicly traded. We've been awarded one of Dun & Bradstreet's highest credit ratings. We have this beautiful facility. I've been there several times out in the Chula Vista, California. We have an in-house research laboratory. We've been named, this is a really big deal here, named among the top 100 direct selling companies in the world. We expanded just about 3 years ago. We were doing about $10 million a year. And picture this, if we had the little growth curve, it would look like that, like a rocket ship, you know, going up. 10 million a year, and just this last year, 3 years after that, is between 140 and 150 million. So this company is really, really, say, oh, I wish I could get in way back then. No, you don't. I didn't even know who my sponsor was. There was no training. There was no nothing. Now is the best time for people to get started in this business. And now they're doing aggressive international expansion. Youngevity's poised to be the next billion-dollar company. So what are you looking for here tonight? This is very important. Very, very important. Improved health, I think we all are. You were here, most of you here the other night. All of us want that. We want to be healthy. Travel. Time freedom, that was the big one with me. And you know, that's the part that when Susan shares her story that I think was such a crime, was just the fact that, you know, she missed every one of her kids' football games that season. Every one of them. To me, that is criminal. As Dr. Wallach says, somebody ought to go to jail. That's just not right. That is just not right. And here's the thing. She can't get those back. If you lose your health, most of the people with Youngevity, we can help them get their health back. If you've lost your wealth, if you'll work with us, we can help you get your wealth back. But here's the thing, guys. You cannot get back 1 minute of time that you've already spent. Once it's gone forever. You can never get it back. She can't get those games back. They're gone. Maybe they're on video somewhere. I don't know. But she never get those lost opportunities back. Now let me tell you something. I went around bragging to you guys here about a year ago saying, my son's going to be a senior. He's a basketball player. I'm not going to miss one of his games. Well, I lied to you because they put out the schedule at the beginning of the year and there was a mistake on the schedule. And we scheduled my friend Kevin Grundy. He was coming all the way from New Zealand, and he's going to come here to Indianapolis to speak. And I realized my son had a game. And let me tell you, it was a debate. I'd go back and forth with Susan. Oh, I got to be there. I can't be there. I got to be there. I can't be there. And I decided to be here. So while Kevin was up there speaking, though, our game was live on the internet. And let me tell you, I had the earphone in one ear, so I'm nodding at Kevin like I'm listening to you. You go, buddy. But I'm sitting there, I'm listening to my son, and he had 10 points in the first 2 or 3 minutes of the game. And I'm sitting there, and I still got to hear it, and I'll watch the video. So I didn't. But that's the only game. That's the only one that I missed. I'm leaving early in the morning. I was going to wait till Sunday, but he's in an all-star game tomorrow, and so I got to get up as early as I wake up. I'm not even going to get a shower, comb my hair. I'm just going to jump in my car and go because I'm going to go see him play. Well, let me just tell you something right now. What kind of price can you put on that? You cannot put a price tag on that. You can't put a price tag on time freedom. It's invaluable. Your time is your life. What are you doing with your time? What do you want to do with it? We're giving you an opportunity here now to be part of something bigger than yourself that you can invest your time into, something that is worthwhile, where you can change people's lives, that you can make a lot of money, and you can gain the time freedom that even a lot of the wealthiest people in the world never have time freedom. It's priceless. It's priceless not to have to wake up to an alarm clock. I do not use alarm clock, and I'm so happy about it. I mean, the things used to, how annoying your sound is like, bonk, 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 bonk. That's so annoying. Who wants that in their life, guys? Now, if you're there, don't take any of this. I'm not putting down. That may be for you. You may love it. I'm all for that. But for the people who hate it, we shouldn't have to do it, right? Time freedom. What else are you guys looking for tonight? Vacations, opportunity to succeed, financial freedom, tax deductions. Every person in America should be involved in some type of home-based business. On an average, the average worker, the salaried worker, can retain an extra $3,000 to $5,000 of the money that you're already making that's being taken from you by being in a home-based business. We'll say it again. The average worker in America can keep an extra $3,000 to $5,000 of the money that they're currently making, that's being taken away from them in taxes. They can keep an extra $3,000 to $5,000 by being involved in a home-based business. I mean, if you never made a dime in the company, to keep an extra $3,000 to $5,000 is a pretty big deal. A chance to help other people, that's a big deal. New friendships. I didn't have any friends till I got in Youngevity, and now I got a couple. Most of them are right here in Indianapolis, all right? I'll be honest with you. And so let me just share this right now, too, all right? To get this right out in the open. And I'm going to be honest, I am an extreme introvert. If I sat by you on a plane, unless you said something to me, I probably would not say a word to you. Nothing, the whole time. So here's the deal, guys. When I go back to that table tonight, there's some of you going to come back there, and you're going to realize that when I'm up here, I'm a different person. I don't know why that is. I have no idea. It is. It wasn't always like this. I had extreme fear of public speaking. I planned my college major. I found a school and a major where I could go and never have to take a speech class. And then later, I never finished that degree until just a few years ago. As an adult, I went back to school, and when I got back there, I looked. And even after doing all this public speaking that I've done, I looked and I said, oh, I got to take that speech class. But I cheated just a little bit. I saw there was one you could do it. You could do it online, and you could video your speeches. So I got my family in a little room, my wife and my kids. And I never did take the speech class in the public setting. You know, I filmed them. I got up there, and one of them, I'll be honest with you, I zoomed in on me because my family couldn't even be there. So I'm acting like I'm talking to people, and I wasn't. But it's really good. I mean, the speech was good. I was just, just like tonight, I was just tearing it up. But I still have that fear of going and doing it in front of people. New friendships you can make. I have friends on the other side of the world who, it's priceless. Over in Australia and New Zealand, I mean, this is a big deal. If you have the dreams, Youngevity is the vehicle. We know there's a changing workforce right now. Families require multiple incomes. Most families can't make it unless mom and dad both are working. Technology is replacing people. By the day, less job security, fewer jobs, more people, longer hours, less money. People are looking for alternatives. Like I said, your friends who you think aren't interested, they are. They want to believe this. They would love to think that it could work for them. Here's a reality check. In countries like ours, Western world countries, by age 65, 54% of the people in this country will be fully dependent on something. The government, relatives, they'll fully depend on someone or some entity just to survive. 36% will be dead. 5% still working. That was my dad, worked up to the time he died. 4% well-to-do. Of that 4%, only 1% are wealthy, and these are the business owners. But even many of those do not have any time freedom at all. They just have their business is just a very well-paying job, is what it is. 90% of the people either dead or fully dependent by age 65. So here's something to think about. Where will you be in 10, 20, 30 years? Where will you be? And I feel impressed to say this right now. And I said this last night. We did a meeting in St. Louis. So many of you here in this room, I'm sure had dreams and ambitions as a young person. And then, you met up with life and circumstances and adversity and got knocked back, and got back up and tried again. But there are people in this room right now, I guarantee you, we won't take a show of hands, that because life has beat you down and because you had big dreams and ambitions and goals and things you wanted to do, but because now you've reached a certain age and in your mind, it's never going to happen. Well, imagine if Susan had done that. Well, gosh, I'm in my 50s, the things that I wanted, never even had her own car till she got in Youngevity. I didn't ask her permission to share that. They had cars she could drive, but she never had her own car till she got in this, in her 50s. And there are people in this room, you've had dreams, you've had ambitions, and you've given up. You've just given up on them. Because you never found the vehicle to get you there. Guys, it's not enough just to have the dreams. You got to have a vehicle. You got to have a plan. You got to have a strategy. A goal is wonderful. That's where it starts. But you can have a strategy to meet that goal, a vehicle. This could be it for you. It was for me. I don't know if it is for you or not. I started to say this earlier and I got sidetracked with all these little stories, but the only question you have to get answered now, yeah, the products are for you, but the only question you have to get answered about the business is just this one, and that's this. Is this for you? Is this, be asking yourself, is this for me? Is this something I'm supposed to be involved with? And if it is, you just do just like what she said out there. I'll try to do it just like her. If it is, you jump in with both feet. Isn't that how she did it? I'm going to try it one more time. She's got the karate chop, and she got it. I jumped in with both feet. So if this is for you, that's all you got to answer tonight. When you walk out of this room, that's the only question you need to get answered. Is this for me? Am I supposed to be involved? Is this part of my destiny? Is this part of something I'm supposed to do? And if it is, then you jump in with both feet and you don't ever quit. I don't care how long it takes. It doesn't make any difference. I've been doing it a year. My biggest check is $20-something. Well, that's great. It's more than some people ever make. Do it another year, you might be making 40. 3 years, you might be making 60. I don't know. Just get that one settled. Is this for you? How do I know? I don't know. I tell people I knew it down in my knower. Everybody's got a knower. I don't know where your knower is, but I know we have one, and I know that I knew in my knower this was for me. So I jumped in with both feet 18 years ago. It's one of the best decisions that I ever made. And that's all you got. What did he say? Did he say bam? Bam! That's right. All right. Wake Steve up back there. Exactly. That's exactly right. We need to get some big shirts. That's what we should call our group. What's your group? Bam! You know, Doc would love it. Let's do that. Write that down. And we know, Susan. Seriously. Get some with a big explosion. That's how they used to do on Batman. Went on TV. Bam! Pop! Smack! Crack! Or whatever it was. We're going to get one. Bam! Some big... Are you writing this down, Susan? I'm serious. Some lightning bolts, like a big... I don't see you writing anything down. Write it down in your deals. I'm very serious. We need some shirts.
I have great memory.
Yeah, right. Yeah. This morning I said, we're sitting there, we're getting ready. We're in St. Louis, we're getting ready to come here. I said, hey, you know, the stuff's all packed away. I said, I'm going to put this is the clicker she has to use. I said, I'm going to put this somewhere that I never put it because, you know, and I said, and so don't let me forget it. So we get here, she's going through all the, the clicker's gone. The clicker's gone. Where's the clicker? She's the one that's supposed to remind me. Fortunately, I remembered. But she's got her memory, right? She's going to remember this. Write it down. The shirts, the BAM shirt, lightning bolts, a big yellow thing around it. I can just see it right now. A black shirt with some kind of orange or yellow, and you get the word, and it's going to go, BAM! Big exclamation point. That's going to be awesome, guys. Pre-selling them tonight, $100 a shirt. There's two types of income. Linear income, we work once, we get paid once. That's a job, traditional business. The income is limited to the number of hours worked. There's no time freedom, unlikely to achieve your dreams. Residual income. That's where we work once and get paid over and over again. Guys, this to me is the most exciting thing I've said all night, and that is this. 2 of the first 3 people that I shared a cassette with 18 years ago, 2 of the first 3 are still using the products today. 2 of the first 3. I got chill bumps. I got goosebumps just thinking about that. I took a few minutes to share a cassette tape, maybe answered a few questions. Both of these people are friends of mine. One's a cousin and one's a very good friend. I'm not going to say they haven't missed any months during 18 years, but they've missed very few months of reordering the product. For 18 years, almost every month, they've ordered and they've ordered and they've ordered. Now, I never look at people and say, oh, you know, how much money can I make off this guy? I don't ever look at where you are in my downline. I don't want to know. I don't want to know what level you're on. I don't want to know what percentage I make off you. I don't want to know that. I might be tempted, if I'm only making 2% off you and 8% off there, I might be tempted to treat them differently. So I don't want to look at that. I don't believe in that. All right? Well, we did a meeting last night. We had 15 or 20 people. Everybody there was in a different downline, was not in our down, was already in Youngevity, except for one person. And he didn't even live in St. Louis. He lives down closer to me in Poplar Bluff from Sykeston, Missouri. So we did this whole meeting, gave them everything we had, knowing these people were already, you didn't know that before the meeting is going to be that way. What are you going to do? Well, we're not going to do the meeting tonight. You know? No, we just went ahead and did it, put everything we had into it. But they're not even in our group. All right? That's how it goes sometimes. But we believe in this. Huh?
That's when you get a cover charge.
That's exactly right. Yeah, we didn't have a cover charge last night. But anyway, residual income, work once, get paid over and over again. You build a team. When I was in Australia, I used to stand up because the days and nights were opposite. I lived there for a year. I told the people, because all my business back then was in the States, I said, guys, I make more money when I'm asleep than I'm awake. Because when I was asleep over there, it was daytime here. That's when all my people were doing meetings, making orders. While I was over there sleeping, making money. Make money when you're not working. The secret to greater wealth and time freedom, greater opportunity to achieve your dreams. Can you achieve your dreams doing what you're doing now? Can you? So let's talk about the baby boomers. These are the 1/3. Think about this, guys. More than 1/3 of the world's population was born between 1946 and 64. I'm on the latter end of that. I was born in 64. I'm at the tail end of the baby boomers. And so, but I'm just going to skip all of this, and I want to show you the next little diagram. What are baby boomers interested in today? Looking younger, feeling better, living longer. The wellness industry could be the greatest financial opportunity that addresses this large, this massive, massive group of people. Because they're all, I'll be 51 this year, and so they're all between what? I think it tells here on the next thing, between 51 and 69 this year. That whole group is interested in this right here. This is a massive, massive industry and a huge opportunity. And here's what it looks like. Picture this being the baby boomers and this being all other, years and births and all of that. And here's this big explosive growth of births. And as it passes through down here, like this garden hose, baby foods, okay, McDonald's, fast food, the car industry, the real estate, and all of that. This is what drives industries, this group of people right here. And they're all interested in what we have. They all need it, and this is what's interesting to them. Guys, what you need to know when you leave here tonight, and those of you that are already involved with this business, the only thing people want to know when you're sharing the opportunity with them, they want to believe it, they just aren't sure they can do it, because they've tried other things and they failed. And so my job here tonight, and your job is this, is to convince you and you to convince them that you can do this. Let me tell you why I know that I know that I know. Same reason I failed all those times and I've had great success. And the other lady failed 37 times and had massive success. Here's why. Because the way we build the business is we share this CD right here. Now there's a little bit of skill there. You got to get people to listen. It's not how many you loan out. You get them to listen, but it's not hard. I say, hey Derek, if I loan you this, will you listen to it? I get a commitment from him, to listen. Once Derek tells me to listen, great. When can you listen to it? All right, so what's today? Friday. I can listen to it by Sunday afternoon. Great. What if I call you Monday? Get your feedback on it. Sure. I call him Monday. He may or may not have listened. Probably not. And he said, Rich, sorry, got busy, whatever, something happened, And I said, it's no problem, Derek. When can you listen for sure, for sure? I can listen Tuesday night. Wonderful. What if I call you back Wednesday, after work, and talk about it? Great. And you keep doing that till they listen. Now, that's the only secret you need to know, because here's the thing. The CD works the same way for everybody. That's the beauty of this. You think, oh, Rich, you can stand up there and, and talk and all this stuff. And, Susan's got that video now. She won the award. And so we can see why you can be successful, but I can't see myself doing it. Hey, listen, we didn't start there. I started as an introvert sharing cassettes. The message will work for you like it works for me. Now, there's some skills and there's some diligence and there's some, you loan it out. You follow up till they listen. But once they listen, guys, people are either going to love it or hate it. You're going to get the same percentage out of 10 that I would get. Now from there's some skills. Following up, make sure they get on the right path. So there are some skills involved. But I want you to know this. I want you to go out of here tonight. Know this, we don't sell, we educate. We use this to educate. And listen, you can do this. I want you to go out here tonight realizing I'm talking to every one of you, you can do this. If you have the desire, you can do this. Do not give up. You can do it. Why Youngevity? I'm not going to go through all these things again. We've talked about all of these. I will say this. Here's a pretty cool one. The average monthly purchase with our company is 3 times the average for all other network marketing companies. 3 times the industry average. Okay? Here's how you get started. you can join with $10, get you a health pack and get started, get you 10 CDs to start loaning out. Or, I think this battery, it's showing this battery is dead. Put that on our list. We can use some batteries for this. She said that today. I should have listened to you. I didn't. Okay, it's still working. We've got a little bit more juice, guys. But here's the way you want to join right here. The CEO Mega Pack. For $499, you get $500 worth of Youngevity's best products. And here's the thing. By coming in with the CEO Mega Pack, you have the potential for all the bonuses that the company offers. If you come in this first way, you miss out on about half of the bonuses that Youngevity has to offer. Now, if I had sitting out in the parking lot a $100,000 automobile, and I don't, I have my Honda Odyssey van that has 275,000 miles on it, sitting out there right now. But I'm happy to have it. It gets me around, and Doc Wallach and the products and all that kind of stuff. But if I had a $100,000 automobile sitting out there tonight, and I said to every one of you, I said, hey, I'll sell you that car for $500. There would not be one person in this room, there would not be one person you know, there would not be one person anywhere who would say, oh, Rich, I'd love to have it, but I just can't afford it. And yet sometimes people will use that with you when you start talking about starting their own international business for $500. Well, don't fall for it. It's just they don't believe it. They don't see it yet. So our job is to convince them this is the best decision for them. It's not the best decision for me. You coming in this way, that doesn't mean it's best for me. I truly believe that's the best decision for you. And that for me to allow you to come in any other way, I'm cheating you. This, friends, is the ticket to changing your life, because you open the door to all the bonuses that Youngevity has to offer. The people who are doing very well and making a lot of money and making money faster, they're coming in with the CEO Mega Pack. Because again, by not doing that, you miss out on at least half the bonuses you could have had. When you find 4 people who come in with that pack, you get all your money back with your first 4 people. That's not even counting your monthly residual check. That's just money that you make the moment that person signs up. You get about $125 the moment that a new person signs up with that CEO Mega Pack. So with 4 people, you've got all your money back with your first 4 team members. Here's a nice little diagram. If I had, let's just say, here's 3 people on this front row. We'll call them my first level, that I sign them up directly under me. At the end of 3 months, I'm making about, with the average purchase in the company, I'm making about $207 a month. But I would have missed out on, by not doing the CEO pack, I would have missed out on about an extra $300. Now, when they go out and find 3 people, those 9 there, I'm making about, what's that, $477 a month, but I would have missed out on $1,200 in coding bonuses by not coming in with the Mega Pack. When those 3 go get 3 same way, I'm making about, what's that, $1,100, I don't know, $1,000, $1,100, but I would have missed out on $3,900 I could have had just in immediate, like quick start money that I would have had. Okay, and you can see, it goes down here after 6 levels, I mean, you would have missed out on over $100,000 by just saying, well, I'll do the $10 and get my pack and I'll come in with the other later. All right? So this is the best deal for anybody that's going to do it as a business. This is the best way to come in. So let's talk about timing, the leverage of a pre-momentum opportunity. You can start now, or you can say, well, I'm going to wait and start later. Here's what happens with an opportunity like this. If you say, I'm going to start later, and that's this. There's your lost opportunity. Because we're on that growth curve, this is what you miss out on by waiting to start later. All right? So, now I'll leave you with this tonight. If you're happy with your life and everything just the way it is, then you just keep doing what you do. But if I've said anything tonight that got you thinking about those dreams that you once had, you know, those hopes, those ambitions, and you don't have what you're doing now is not getting you there, then we say, what do you have to lose by doing this? Worst case scenario, you get your Mega Pack, 30 days from now, you say, yeah, this is just it for me. You box it all up, you send it back to the company, you get your money back. What kind of deal is that? You start your own international business for $500, you got 30 days, and you can still get all your money back if for some reason you change your mind. I don't see how it gets any better than that. So here's the thought I'll leave you with. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always had. If you want that, just keep doing it. But if you want change, tonight could be the night that your life begins to change and turn around. All right? We're finished here with this part tonight, and I'll be back at the table with Susan. You guys hang around as long as you want. We'll take care of you. We can get you. You got something you want to announce?
Giveaway.
That's right. That's